All right. Are we live? I think so. Let's get everything set up. Make sure that we're running here. There we go. I think we're live. There we are. Yes. All right. Well, I need to upgrade my StreamYard. Looks like I've still got a watermark. Okay. So, welcome back, everyone. We are going to be talking about travel today. It is still very, very snowy outside of my window, and that means I'm not out walking, which means that we are filling a little bit of time together. And last week we played a little GeoGuessr, which was very fun. We may play a little GeoGuessr today, we'll see. But I did want to talk a little bit about how I plan cheap trips. I travel a lot, I travel all over the world, and I wanted to take a little bit of time today just to share with you how what is my process for planning cheap trips. So we'll dive into that today. We'll see how many people join. I will answer questions about cheap travel from those who join, but my process is pretty simple. Okay. And cheap, I guess, is relative for everyone. Okay. So let me go ahead and share a window here. There we go. And we should be looking together at, let's see here. Yep, the Google Explore function. Okay. And so this is where we're going to start today. This is my go-to travel site. So you just go to Google Travel, then you click up at the top. Instead of flights, you click Explore. Okay. And we're going to pretend that I live in New York because a lot of people live in New York. So the odds are viewers may live in New York. So we're going to take you can do a specific date if you have specific dates for travel, but honestly, my plan is always to not have specific dates for travel. If you can be flexible and pick any day in the next 6 months and make it a 1 week or a 2 week trip, let's do 1 week just for the sake of this. And we'll click done. And now you can scroll around the map here and look at how much it would cost you to fly to any of these places. And then let's say you wanted to go to Nashville. You would just click on Nashville and you would see that Spirit would fly you in 2 hours for $61. And then if you click on that, you'll see that that flight is from February 3rd through February 11th. And you could see, would that timeline work for me? Okay. But let's not go to Nashville. Let's go someplace a little wilder. All right. So first, let's check the Caribbean. And we can see we could make it to Puerto Rico for $87. We could make it to the Dominican Republic for, let's see, $198. We could go to Trinidad and Tobago for $217, Barbados for $196. I mean, these are good prices. Jamaica for $241. Yeah, so you can start to see, okay, well, if we're flexible, Costa Rica, $286, then travel airfare at least doesn't have to be crazy. Now, if you don't live in a major hub, prices are going to go up. So we just saw as an example that Barbados was $196 from New York. If we change New York to, let's say, Indianapolis, Barbados ticket goes up to $621. Okay. And so if you're in Los Angeles, Barbados is $489. So, where you're from does make a big difference on how much the flights end up costing, of course. But we'll play around with New York as an example here. Okay. So you can just kind of roam around and say, okay, I want to go to South America. Buenos Aires, 729. Rio for 584. Santiago, Chile. Machu Picchu for $500. If we wanted to go to Africa, certainly more expensive. Cape Town for $900. Mount Kilimanjaro, $995. Ethiopia, $880. Marrakesh, $479. Cairo, $600. So you can start to see, just roaming around the map, if you're open to a lot of different places, Malta for $495, Venice for $466, Paris for $275. Like, there are bargains to be had. Istanbul for $500. Some of the pricier places to travel to would be typically India and Australia, New Zealand, Fiji, etc. Sydney for $889 is pretty good. Honestly, it's pretty good. Bali for $1,000. Japan is my favorite travel destination. Tokyo for $907. South Korea for $852. Okay, so let's say that our budget for the whole trip is $1,000. Okay, let's do 1,000. Let's just make it a nice even number. Okay, so let's say, all right, we're gonna go to. Do you want to go to Barcelona? Where do you want to go? What's caught your fancy, everybody? We've got Panama City for $400. We got Costa Rica. Let's say we want to go to Costa Rica. Okay, $286. That's February 7th through February 15th. Well, first we need to know, is Costa Rica safe in February? Or February. And Costa Rica in February, weather, where to go, etc. February is considered the best month to visit Costa Rica. All right. That's not bad. Dry, sunny weather throughout your stay, the peak of the dry season. Okay. So February 7th through the 15th. So now we do my second favorite thing, which is to go and look on booking.com. Costa Rica, February 7th through 15th. And let's make this a solo trip. Obviously, if it was a two-person trip, you'd double the cost of the plane tickets, but you wouldn't necessarily double the cost of the hotel room. All right. So once I pull up Costa Rica, the whole country, by the way, not just the capital, then I'm going to click on Wonderful Hotels. Your preferences may vary. I like to look at hotels before I start diving into Airbnbs. And I like to set it to the highest guest satisfaction rating possible. And then I usually screen for parking too, because we're going to rent a car in a country like Costa Rica. All right. So let's say we want to go out and check out. Hey, Barack, how you doing? Good to see you. Let's check out what's happening out here on the coast. All right. So look at this one. So this is, wow, gorgeous. So this is $104 times one night, because I entered it in wrong. I needed to do the 7th through the 15th. Now we're talking. So $832. So that's going to be over our budget. So we need to go back and we need to fix the filter. Close map, 7th through the 15th. Is that what it was, or was it the 8th? Yeah, 7th through the 15th. All right. Now, obviously, if I were really planning out this trip, and we might just for the sake of it here, I would be not doing the entire week in one hotel in a place like Costa Rica. I'd probably land in San Jose and then maybe kind of go clockwise around the country, maybe do the Pacific coast, then come back out to the Caribbean coast and then head back into San Jose. But for the sake of kind of understanding what we can get for the money. Remember, we spent $299 on the plane ticket. And so we want to spend around $400 on the lodging, and then about $200 on the car, and $200 on, say, 300 plus 200 plus 200 plus 300. Yeah, so we're going to have to trim down the hotel price pretty good here. So we'll say, you know, 7 times, let's say $60 a night, and see what we can find. And then screen it down to wonderful hotels. All right. So now we've got a hostel, a tiny house. Ooh, a 1-bedroom apartment. That's 483. Casa Marul. So this one looks like it's in San Jose. So this one is pretty centrally located. That doesn't look bad. So that would be an option, right? So it's 9.7 with 219 reviews. Wonderful breakfast included. So that'll save us on meals. So that's not bad at all. So we could get a twin room, $360, no prepayment, free cancellation, and free breakfast included. And it looks like a pretty good breakfast, honestly. Okay, let's see what else there is. But that looks pretty good. So I would heart that one and put it in my list. We got a jungle lodge here. Look at this. Okay, so this is the shared area, but what's the room situation? Okay, the rooms are very Spartan, very bare bones. Okay, not my thing for a week. For one night, that might be fun, like really fun. And as you hover over them, look on the right, you can see kind of where the location is. This one is $168, but it's a bed in a dorm. And I like a little bit more privacy. That wouldn't have been a big deal when I was much younger. All right. And you just kind of see what's going on here. Let's click it down a little bit more and just click hotels. That'll get rid of some of the bunk bed. Nope. Small double room. Yes. 9.0. 468. 328. Cabinas La Fulanita. Oh, this is interesting. Let's check out this one. It's kind of roadside, doesn't it? Nope, that's a big no. So you got to be willing to just trust your gut. If it's a no, it's a no. And we can back out of wonderful a little bit and say we'd like very good, and that'll open up a little bit more to you. Let's see. Yeah, but you can kind of see what you'd be looking at. You can go real budget, like I'm doing here. This one looks interesting too. This one's focused mainly on its tours. So it looks like it's way off the grid. How cool though. So you can see this is kind of what you'd get for the money in Costa Rica, and you could get down there for $300. You get a hotel room for, if we went with the non-hotel and went with like an Airbnb situation through booking.com, we'd be talking $360. I kind of like this one. I think that's something I'd go with the breakfast included. That's kind of very cool. Yeah, really neat. Or you could go with a hotel, something like this, which is very nice, of course. Yeah, this one's very cool. Pretty neat. So that one would cost us a little bit more, $460 for a full week. Not bad. Not bad at all. All right. And then we would get into needing a car for the same time. And so we would say San Jose, Costa Rica from February 7th through 15th. And pick a car with unlimited mileage. Very important. So we will turn on, we probably want air conditioning. And we want unlimited mileage and an automatic transmission. And then we want to sort by lowest price. And I said 36 days. That's not good. That's not good. So through February 15th. Sheesh. I was like, those prices are crazy. So not for a month and a half, for 1 week. $187. So now we're talking. So unlimited mileage, automatic transmission, and air conditioning. $267 for an SUV from Avis. That would work. Yeah. Yeah. So that wouldn't be an issue. $237. Let's sort by price. See how low can we go. $237. So we probably want an SUV in Costa Rica. So this would probably be the winner. This $267, free cancellation, unlimited mileage. Yeah. That seems good. From Avis, national company, budget $323. So, all right. So $267 for the car and $286 for the flight. So that's 300 and 300-ish. So we're talking 475-ish plus 360 for a place to stay is 800-ish. So we're about 825, and that gives us another 175 for food. Remember, we're getting free breakfast. So we're close. So, but that's kind of the process in general, is I pick a country based on, what's cheap, where can I go, when can I go, that would work for, getting a very, very cheap bargain plane ticket. So you could go even the absolute lowest that you wanted to, and you could set a price here and say, I don't want to pay more than $250. So what would trigger? All the stuff in the US here, right? And then Barbados. Let's try Barbados. Let's just out of curiosity, because we can get there for 196. So let's change our plan here. Say, okay, we won't even need a car if we go to Barbados. Woo, 2561. That's going to be a problem. All right. So very good. And then we'll sort by lowest price. Okay, that's much better. All right, private room. Let's see if we've got any hotels we can look at. So this is what's going to kill us here, is Barbados hotels are out of sight, it looks like. Yeah, so we would have to go to a different site like an Airbnb. So this would immediately make me say, nope, not going to Barbados. But I could instead say, oh, you know what was cheap was Paris. Paris was 275. Okay. So then if I said, all right, Paris was even cheaper than Costa Rica, what can I find in the city center? And you think to yourself, well, it's going to be unaffordable. It's Paris. And it's short notice because we're talking about February 7th through 15th. But let's see. Hotels that are very good. So 1,000, 1,000, 1,000, 1,000. Okay. So what if we take off the very good and open up to like a 7.7? 5.7 is not good. So we'll say a good score. 804 looks like the lowest. But what if we didn't go to Paris? What if we flew into Paris and took the bus to someplace else? Like, let's look up here. Lyon. What if we went to Lyon instead of Paris? We flew into Paris and took a bus to Lyon. And then sort by price and good hotels. So now we drop about 300 bucks off of our stay. Interesting. And if I took hotels off of there, so a hostel, a cheap option for sure if you're comfortable with that. And there are other places that specialize in just hostels, other sites. So we'll look up entire homes and apartments. 300. So here's a 1-bedroom apartment, 0.8 miles from downtown. And let's see if we can say very good. All right. 1-bedroom apartment, studio apartment, 480. Yeah, these are pretty cheap. This looks cute. Very. So again, you're looking at fairly modest digs, but you can go cheap to just about anywhere. If you, as a principle of this video, if you are willing to be flexible with your dates, flexible with your location, kind of have a running list of where you'd like to see where you'd like to go in the country and in the world, and just slowly start checking things off your list. Like you could just as easily say, you know what, I'd like to see San Francisco. There's an underrated destination, Boise. Like that place is cool. Really, really like it. Yeah. All right. So that's what I wanted to show everybody today. I hope you enjoyed. That's my usual process for booking cheap travel. I use Google Explore to find a spot, then make sure that that time would work out for me and that that time is a nice place or a nice time for the place that I selected. Then get into booking.com and look for, what would I be paying per night for nice properties? And am I going to go in and stay in one spot and then hub out of that spot? Or am I going to rent a car, in which case I'm going to need to kind of string together different places to stay around the country or region that I'm going to. But that's it. That's the plan. I do a lot of solo travel for the channel, so I don't have to buy 2 plane tickets. That kicks up the cost, of course, if you're buying 2 plane tickets. But sometimes you're traveling with a friend and you are only responsible for your plane ticket. And then you can split the cost on hotels and, of course, go find cheap eats. Cheap eats are the easiest part of this puzzle. Avoid tourist traps. Be comfortable going to a grocery store and getting a loaf of bread and some cheese and grapes. Totally fine. And then go sit inside of a river. Great spot. Pull up to the side of the road at a great picnic spot. Have a picnic. Very cheap. All right. That's it, everybody. Hope you enjoyed this video. Walks as soon as we thaw. I'm looking out my window right now, and we got inches and inches and inches of snow this week. So Hope you enjoyed this video. If you have questions about my process, let me know. If you have tips, your process for planning cheap vacations, planning cheap travel, drop those in as well. Jack, you're welcome. No problem. Hope it's useful. Everybody have a great, great rest of your day, and walks again as soon as the snow goes away. All right, everybody. See you soon.